Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video. Today I want to talk about 10 of the rarest achievements in Oldschool Runescape. Now I'm going to stick to things that are more common knowledge and less obscure achievements because I think that makes for a more interesting video. Yes, there are hardcore ironmen who have never gotten the Bloodhound Pet. Yes, I could say Maxine a 4 squares northwest of the Lumbridge Bridge account would be one of their rarest achievements, but I'm going to stick to things that are more tangible and most people could get. Anyway, let's get started. Coming in at number 1 is getting 99 prayer on a free-to-play account. Now doing this on an Ironman or a regular account is extremely hard. We'll start with the regular account. So a regular account can only bury normal bones and big bones. That is the only option for training prayer. Burying regular bones caps out at something like 15k prayer experience an hour, and burying big bones, while it does cap out at about 45k prayer experience an hour, which is pretty bad but not terrible. Getting to 99 through burying bones alone is going to cost about 250 mil, which is comparable to some of the best pay-to-play prayer rates, except the drawback here is it's going to take you 300 hours to get 99 prayer, or like 1,000 if you bury regular bones, but that would never be worth it. And it gets even worse on a free-to-play Ironman account because the best experience rates in the game for prayer cap out at about 6k an hour, and that is burying bones in the Graveyard of Shadows, or the Chaos Temple apparently is a viable alternative. You literally have to go pick up the big bones and bury them. While it's not going to cost you any money, you're going to pay for that by getting god-awful experience rates, and this gets even trickier because getting verified as a free-to-play only account is somewhat hard. There are very few free-to-play accounts that are verified and have 99 prayer. Coming in at number 2 is completing minigame sets. Now in Oldschool Runescape, minigames are not played as much as they were back in 2007. Some of these minigame sets require a ridiculous amount of games to earn the sets. For example, the Castle Wars decorative set will cost you about 3,500 tickets in total, and the most amount of tickets you can get per game is 3, so it's going to take you at least 1,700 Castle Wars games to get the full decorative set. Another one worth mentioning is the Trouble Brewing minigame. Nobody plays this minigame, and while this set does not cost nearly as much, it's still going to take you 225 games to complete that entire set. And these games are not super quick. The Trouble Brewing games take like 20 minutes, and there's no way to speed it up. So if you see anyone with the full gold decorative set from Castle Wars, you know that it took a long time to achieve. Coming in at number 3 is the Infernal Cape. Now this one is pretty obvious to most people. The Inferno was one of the hardest PVM challenges upon release. It took days for the first person to complete the challenge. It is considered the ultimate endgame highest skill challenge in game. Getting the Infernal Cape is so hard that there are even paid services out there for people to do it for you. And it also requires, for the most part, a lot of endgame gear. Yes, people have been able to do it with less. The only way for most people to do it is with a twisted bow, which requires about 1 bill GP. Not to mention that to try the Inferno, you need to sacrifice a fire cape, which means you have to have completed the fight caves, which in itself isn't that hard. However, it's a time-consuming process for just one try at the Inferno. Now, quite a few people have this cape now, but at the time when it was released, it was one of the rarest items to have in game, and to this day it still is. Coming in at number 4 is an Untrimmed Slayer Cape. Now, for those who don't know, to have an untrimmed cape, it has to be your only level 99 skill. Once you get 99 in another skill, all of your skill capes become trimmed. Having an untrimmed cape is generally much more rare than having a trimmed cape. However, having certain untrimmed capes are extremely rare, and one of the rarest is the Slayer Cape. Now, the main reason behind this is getting 99 Slayer while not getting 99 in a combat skill is challenging. Slayer is very slow, and gaining combat experience is very quick. So anyone who is not strategically and purposely trying to go for an untrimmed Slayer Cape will get it trimmed by default just because of how the experience rates fall. Now this is a little outdated, but at the time, the amount of untrimmed Slayer Capes in the game was 223. Not to mention that having 99 Slayers is already an accomplishment in itself, but the amount of work that it requires to specifically only achieve 99 Slayers immense. You have to do quests, diaries, anything to get you early game experience, and that's what makes this a great achievement. Coming in at number 5 is owning the Bloodhound Pet. The Bloodhound Pet is a reward received from a Master Clue. And the rate that you get the Bloodhound Pet from Master Clues is 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,000 on itself isn't the rarest drop rate in the game, however, the rate that you complete Master Clues at is extremely low. Looking at the high scores today, only 4 people have reached the drop rate for the Bloodhound Pet. That being said, the most recent data on pet drops indicates that about 300 people have received the Bloodhound Pet, which is still extremely rare. I am not even sure if I've ever seen one of these in game. It is by far the rarest pet, by far the rarest clue scroll drop, and an extremely rare achievement to have in game. Coming in at number 6 is getting 99 Herblore on an Ironman account. So 99 Herblore on a regular account is generally just viewed as a little expensive, but a pretty easy skill. What makes this so hard on an Ironman account is the way you have to obtain herbs. You can only gain herbs on an Ironman account through drops as well as farming. Now that could be said about a few different skills here, but unfortunately farming is the only reliable way to get herbs, and that is bottlenecked by the amount of farm runs you can do a day and the amount of seed drops you can get in game. So even if you were to have unlimited seed, you'd still only be able to do, well, a herb run every hour and a bit, tree runs every 8 hours, so there's a gating factor to getting herbs. That is why Herblore is considered the hardest skill to level up on an Ironman, as there is no reliable way to straight up train it. You have to wait until you have the resources and go from there. If you consider a similar skill like crafting, while you do have to normally get the drops by hand, you can buy items from shops to get crafting experience. You could indefinitely kill cows if you had to and keep gaining crafting experience. Unfortunately, farming doesn't have that luxury, and is why it's one of the rarest achievements for an Ironman. Coming in at number 7 is a trimmed music cape. In order for players to trim their music cape, players are required to unlock all music tracks, including holiday event tracks. If you compare that to an untrimmed music cape, all you require is the regular tracks in games. That's not including any of the previous holiday events. For the trimmed cape, in addition to that, players are required to have completed all of the achievement diaries, which in itself is a pretty large achievement. What makes this rare for me is the fact that you need the holiday tracks, which can only be achieved once per year as far as I'm aware. So not only do you need to run to every crevice in RuneScape to unlock every musical track, you'll also need to have been playing at the correct times and have completed all of the achievement diaries, and some of the requirements for the elite achievement diaries require near max stats, as well as some other irritating and annoying requirements. That makes the trimmed music cape one of the greatest achievements in RuneScape for me. Coming in at number 8 is Maxine a regular account. This is actually probably one of the more common achievements on this list. As of September, there are about 4,200 maxed players in Oldschool Runescape. For maxing an account is no less than an achievement. It still takes quite a long time to max an account, probably longer than some of these goals. However, it is one of the most sought after and common goals, therefore more people have completed it. Maxing a regular account will take thousands of hours, and the reward for that is the max cape. You don't see that many of these running around in game, so it is still one of the rarer achievements, and I think should still be recognized on this list. Coming in at number 9 is owning the Scythe of Vater. Now, the Scythe of Vater is a new drop from Raids 2, or the Theater of Blood, and it is the rarest drop, going for over max cash tag once again. It started off at about 4 bill, and for about a week or two it dropped down to below max cash, but it seems to be back up above max cash again. This is the most expensive item in game, and if you're on an Ironman account, you have no choice but to do Theater of Blood over and over and over again. If you're on a hardcore Ironman account, you're screwed. I don't know if you're going to get this. Just the price point and the skill required to obtain this item, I think makes it a great achievement in its own right. Gaining a max cash stack in game can take years without any serious luck. The amount of people with max cash is less than you might imagine. While there are a lot of hyper rich people with billions and billions of GP, most people will never achieve max cash, which makes this a pretty good achievement. And coming in at number 10 is achieving the Champion's Cape. Now, for those who don't know, the only way to get the Champion's Cape is to find all 12 of the Champion Scrolls. Now, the Champion Scrolls are dropped at a rate of 1 out of 5,000. However, the only thing that makes this a little more bearable is they're from pretty weak monsters. They're from monsters like imps, goblins, lesser demons, so they're pretty easy to kill, and you can get a lot of kills per hour. However, getting all 12 of them is something not a lot of people have done. The last statistics are showing about 376 people have found all of the Champion Scrolls, and could earn the Champion's Cape. There is not a huge reward for this, unfortunately, but it is a good show of prestige because this is something barely anyone has in game. However, 1 in 5,000 is nothing to scoff at, considering you have to do that over 10 times. You could be killing upwards of 100,000 different monsters just to get this cape, which I think makes it a great achievement. And that is it, guys. That is my list of the 10 greatest achievements in Old School RuneScape. What do you think? Do you have any other things you'd put up there? I might make another video for more niche achievements in the future or crazy accounts that got made. However, these are 10 general achievements that most people know about and can achieve on a regular account or an Ironman account. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.